Hello, Patreon peeps. Hello, guests. It is August. It is time for us to get back to it. If that means getting back to school, if it means getting back to work, if it means just coming alive, if it means getting ready to retire. Someone in our group just is starting their retirement. And so that's a thing. I am very excited to spend a half hour with you. Our time today is going to consist of a very quick centering activity. We're rotating through several, and then let's just dive right in with it. And I'm going to invite you to take a couple deep breaths. And what I'm going to share with you today is just, and I'm going to find it because you're going to want me to copy and paste it, I know. Is a series. I actually created this for myself to start my Qigong activities every morning. And I have been, let me switch to posting to this to everyone in the meeting. And it's just a series of statements. I start by taking a couple deep breaths, and then I say to myself, come home, settle in, find center. And I wait until I feel centered. And then I say out loud, release expectation, invite wonder, welcome stillness. And then I wait until I feel stillness arrive. And then I say, activate equanimity, resonate tranquility. And the word equanimity, had heard of, I wasn't super familiar with it until I started meditation classes. And technically the definition is just bringing a calm, centered mind. But how I find it used and how my meditation uses it is to really welcome everything that's happening. It's not just allowed to be the way that it is. It's the way it is, and it's a good thing. If our minds are overactive, if we're worried about something, instead of saying, oh, I have to stop thinking about that, it's like, no, that's part of the journey today. So I'm going to leave that in the chat. I'm going to try to remember to paste it when I post the video. Come home, settle in, find center, release expectation, invite wonder, welcome stillness, activate equanimity, resonate tranquility. 3 things for you today. A pebble, a quick resource. It's about stress balls. I love stress balls. I found a set online that I really like that are 3 different firmnesses. And as I was loading up, I thought, I'm going to do that. And someone's going to say, what's the link for them? And so I looked it up really quick. And I'm sure you can find it from some non-Amazon place if you're somebody who avoids Amazon. I say I'm going to avoid Amazon, and then I keep going back to Amazon. But I want to tell you a secret that even though these were, gosh, $12, totally fabulous, I have used them a little bit, but I go back to something that I learned how to make in a stress management class 30 years ago. Balloon, flower, and a funnel. And I can, if I can jam a lot of flour in there before I seal it up, it's a little bit firmer for me. But if I wimp out and just put a little bit in, it's just a little bit softer. I will tell you that this has helped me. I sometimes use my phone a little too much. It told me that I was on it almost twice as many hours a day as Jamie. Not that we're comparing, but so I've been trying to cut back. But I've noticed I get a little bit of hold, and so I'm finding this is kind of helping prevent a little carpal tunnel situation from arising. And I find when I'm watching the evening news, it helps for me to have both of them in my And I will say these don't last forever. If you wear lotion a lot, it's going to wear out. And only once have I made a mess. Usually what happens when they start wearing out is a little tiny hole will come up, and I'll notice I have a little bit of flour on my hands, and then it's time to get a new one. That is my pebble for you. The boulder is an activity, and I will tell you this. This is a big, long thing that we could talk about for 2 days. I just learned about it a few weeks ago. I'm going to present the small version of this. I was having a conversation with a friend who said, "You've heard of the Sedona method, haven't you?" And I said, "Oh, of course I have." Googled the Sedona method while we're on the phone. And I hadn't. I ended up within a day watching this 1-hour video. What's that link, you asked? Why, here, Ripplers, here is the link. What is the man's name? Let me see if I wrote down his name. Nope. Dwight, I forgot. He has a name. The Sedona method. Wait, let me get to it because now I want to have it. Hale Dwoskin. I wanted to give him credit. I wasn't going to be able to remember that in my head. It involves really 3 questions. And I just want to share with you these 3 questions. And it will help if you grab, if it's useful and you're near a piece of paper, if you're a note taker, or if you want to just open a note on a screen and write down a thought or a feeling that you've been having a lot that you kind of wish would go away. And if I asked you to think of some thoughts and or feelings that you've been having a lot, you wish you were having less of, you might start getting overwhelmed. Just pick one. It doesn't have to be the biggest or the grandest. Just pick a thought or a feeling. And I'm going to jot one down too. That just came to me when I said that. And I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Can you welcome that thought or feeling? Can you just let it be present in your awareness for now? The second question is, can you welcome any desire you have to meddle with it, to eliminate it, to fix it, or to manage it? And third, can you welcome any way that you identify with it, that its presence means something about who you are because you're having that thought or feeling? It's called the triple welcoming. Can you just welcome the thought or feeling? Can you welcome any desire to meddle, to fix it, to change it, to move towards it, to move away from it? And then can you welcome any meaning you attach to it? Meaning that I am the type of person that has this thought, or I'm a bad person because I can't get rid of this thought or feeling. And what my take on this, and when I watched the video, he talks through the background of how he developed it, and he does it with several people. And it doesn't even matter if the answer is yes or no. Like when he says, can you welcome the thought or feeling? If you can't welcome it, say no. He said it's more for you to just entertain the questions. And my hypothesis is why it's so effective is it works a little bit like reverse psychology. Instead of trying to fight something, say, bring it on. Let it be here. Stop fighting it and stop judging it. And stop defining what it means that you're thinking it, and just let it be present. And the hypothesis is that as you do this, it dissipates. My friend told me about this. I watched the video the next day. I've used it very naturally every single day since, and I can't stop thinking about it. So I wanted to share it with you. Sedona method. Watch the video if you have time, or just practice those 3 questions. We have ground to cover. I'm right on time to spend 20 minutes talking about these 6 actions. Some of you on this call have brought me to your campus to fire up new students. There's at least one mom of a college student who's seen me speak many times, including her son's graduation. Dare I tell Sean I said hi? And at the beginning of college, I get to spend time on lots of different college campuses, and my advice has been boiled down from me asking hundreds and hundreds of people, what advice do you wish you would have gotten when you started college? And what advice did you get that you wish you would have followed? And we came up with these 6 hand gestures, these 6 actions. I'm going to teach them to you really quick. I need everyone to do it. Shrug and tilt. Everyone do a shrug and tilt with me. And then a clap. So you're a third of the way through this. That's how easy. Let's do the first 2 together. Shrug and tilt, clap. The next one is called crumbs off the table. You make a table with one hand and you just brush crumbs off. And I find it fun to go left to right, right to left. And the next one, equally fun, called dolphins in the ocean. Fist close to your chest, and then just make little dolphins rippling out. Let's do those last 2 again so you get them right. Crumbs off the table, dolphins in the ocean. The last 2, super easy. Temple point, jazz hands. Do the last 2 again. Temple point, jazz hands. We put them all together. 6 actions look like this. Ask questions, connect, sample the buffet, create ripples, focus, enjoy today. Asking questions and asking for help. Instead of me telling you what I tell college students, I've been thinking about getting back to work. For some of us, getting back into some routines we haven't had a while. About a quarter of the people who responded to the survey for this call brought up some version of, I'm a little anxious about heading back to the office. I'm not sure what the fall is looking like with COVID. I'm just uneasy. And so my questions for us to ask ourselves, is there a question that you need to be pondering right now? Is there a question that might help center you or find your way? And I'm going to give you some examples. I have a question written down here that my friend Colleen, Coach Colleen, sends out a Monday morning pep talk every Monday. And 3 or 4 weeks ago, she posed a question to us. What do I need most this week? And she challenged us to actually write it down and answer it. And I wrote it on my whiteboard, and just out of me, I wrote, this week I need to make moderate progress on a few projects. And I knew what projects I was talking about. What was interesting about that is the word moderate. I did not make this up. I heard the word moderate in my brain. And I thought that's weird that I said that. But what I noticed is that what happens in August when I'm getting ready to do a whole bunch of presentations is I start to panic many times, like I've got so much to do. And I was early enough in starting back that I really didn't need to make massive headway, just moderate. So it turned out the most important word in that sentence was the word moderate. Every time I'd start to go, oh, I go moderate progress. Made a huge difference. Some of you know the 3 questions that I asked in another presentation that we've talked about. What is it time to let go of? What will be important to hold on to? What might be useful to look forward to? Those 3, I was going to see if I can, let me see if I can quickly share those questions with you. I'm not finding them real quick. I will come back and try to add those in there because I know some people like writing the things down. The questions can sometimes serve us so well. The other thing is asking for help. And what I know about those of us who are helpers is we are often much better at offering help than asking for it. And so the other thing I pose to us this week is, do I need help? Do I have the courage to ask for help? And who are some of the people that I know want to help me? Thank you for writing them down. You did, Angie, so good. So yes, connecting. So we've asked questions, we've asked for, well, connecting. And of course, with students, I'm telling them about how to meet lots of new people and branch out away from your familiar circles. The questions I think will be useful for us as we think about connecting: are there people that you need to spend more time connecting with? And if some answers just bubbled up right now, jot them down, get out your phone and text them right now, say hi. Are there organizations or groups that you are affiliated with that you haven't tended to connecting with that might be helpful to you? Are there individuals in your work organization, life, community, neighborhood that because of COVID or because of life, it has been important or just inevitable that those connections have slipped a little bit that you need to connect with? Sampling the buffet is about trying all the possibilities that exist. And one of the metaphors that I talk about in orientations is going to buffets. I got to tell you, COVID has been hard in lots of ways. I've been missing my buffets, and I love the Golden Corral, and I haven't been to one in almost 2 years. And some of you are like, "Good, it's about time." Shut up! I love me a Golden Corral. And one of the things I learned in doing some research is when you ask Americans if you would like 50 items in a buffet or 100 fresh items in a buffet, they overwhelmingly say 100. If you ask them, do you want 100 fresh items in a buffet or 200, they overwhelmingly say 200. And yet there's all this research from people who are in the buffet business that the average consumer of a buffet goes and picks the same 5 to 7 things. So the curiosity is, in the buffet, in the possibilities that exist for you for this fall, have you gotten into some routines that have become ruts, that are part of either what helped you stay comfortable or what helped you stay safe, but also have what been helping you get bored? And if you've ever heard me speak, you know that I spent a couple years learning about learning environments, getting my master's degree in higher education. And there was a theory about environments. Nevitt Sanford talked about challenge and support. And that for years, I've been talking about seeking comfort and seeking challenge and finding the right balance. And some of you remember different images I've used for these over the years. But one of the things, if you haven't heard me say this, please know that real learning can take, according to Nevitt Sanford, and I believe it true, only takes place when we have the right combination of feeling comfort, feeling safe, and feeling challenged. The problem is we don't naturally seek a balance. Put ourselves in a situation where we have a choice between the route that we know, the safe, the comfort that we know, and the unknown. This could be better, this could be worse, I'm not sure. Inside of our system is a little message that says, stay alive. And as a result, we default to comfort. And that's good because staying alive makes so many other things possible. And without it, we can't do anything. But here's the problem. If we default to that, we get bored and we don't necessarily bring our best selves to school, to work, and to life. And so when I'm working with a person, when I'm thinking about myself, when I'm talking to someone who isn't bringing their best self to school, to work, to life, I notice the same behaviors in two different people might have exact opposite sources. And that is that some people are doing this thing because life is overwhelming, because life is hard, and they're doing it as a comfort mechanism. And other people are kind of feeling bored and they don't know what else to do, so they're doing that thing. And I believe that one of the things that was required living in the time of a global pandemic is creating safety zones that, if we're not careful, can become ruts. And as it's time, we started moving out, some of us, now with this stupid Delta variant making things weird. And what are we supposed to? But because there's been so much challenge out there, we've retreated to comfort, which we needed to do. possibly at the cost in some areas of our life of getting bored, that starts looking like depression, that starts looking like feeling stale, that starts feeling stuck. And we can actually start to feel helpless and or hopeless when we're drowning in the shallow end, when we need to put our foot down and say, wait a second, this isn't overwhelm I'm feeling. This is actually boredom. And we can trick ourselves into thinking it's one when it's actually the other. So a possible exploration jumping off point for you is, have you been so protective and taking care of yourself that you actually need to nudge yourself in one area of your life, maybe while still in another area needing to focus on comfort? I know plenty of people that are in classic burnout mode from school, from work, from life, where the solution might actually be to find a new challenge that is hard, that stretches them a little bit, but in a way that's different from the burned out, fried parts of their soul that really can't take on anymore, that need to be comfort. Be curious about that. Then we talk about the ripples. And those of you that have hung out with me in person know that one of the things that the whole Ripples newsletter got started because of a little quote activity. Oh, shut up. We have to do the Ripples card activity. We can do it. Oh, stop the presses. Okay, let me think about where I have that link. I'll tell you this while I'm finding it. You're about to get a message that you are supposed to get at this point in your life. If you believe in God, this is a message from a higher power. If you don't believe in God, this is a message from the universe. If you don't believe in the universe, this is a message from Miss Cleo, your psychic friend. One of 30 of our brand new Ripples cards is about to find you digitally because this awesome website that my friend made for me. And if you don't believe that things happen for a reason, you still get to participate, because then it's, how do you make meaning from the randomness of one of 30 quotes finding you? And this is how you're going to get your quote. We're going to test the load strength of my website. You're just going to click on the link that is located in the chat. I will try so hard to remember to upload all these links when I upload the video. And I apologize. Let me read it. 2rpl.me/Ripples card. The R and the C are capitalized, and I think it matters because that's the document name, .html. Oh, yay, Jamie just sent me a message. Thanks, Jamie. And then what you do is you click on the card, and a random one of 30 quotes will come up, and that first one is the one that you're supposed to get, or the one you're supposed to make meaning. But I'll give you a secret. If you keep clicking, what has actually happened underneath the website is it's randomized the complete deck. So you can then click on it 30 times and you can see all the new cards. Some quotes are from each of the first 4 generation of decks, and then a handful of the quotes are brand new that I've been itching to use in the new deck. What I say in the presentation is that the little things we do have an ongoing impact. And the questions I have for us are, what are some little habits, tiny micro habits, that might improve your mood, your day, your schedule, your work, your life? Some little habits, baby steps. What is the smallest thing you could do that would have a big difference? I said, what habits can you cultivate? What tiny chores can you stick to? Is there a small chore that makes a big enough difference that it's worth it? I've been noticing there's a couple little things around the house that when I tend to them, my inbox is a much smaller task when I tend to it twice in a day. And I just say, I'm going to focus on getting rid of, cleaning up, and managing and prioritizing. And it stays small. Oh my gosh. Okay. Time is of the essence, so I got to focus, and that's our next piece. Focus, focus, focus. I tell them, when you're in class, be there. One of the cool things that I do, I just calculated this for a campus I'm going to next week, is I go to their website, I look up how much it costs to go there, room and board and tuition and books and all that. And I put it in my little trusty spreadsheet that divides it by 2 semesters, divides it by 15 weeks, and then divides it by 15 credits usually, or whatever the math is on that campus for a typical load. And it comes up with the price of a single hour lecture. And then I say, sometimes students drink too much milk. They go to bed, they wake up the next morning with lactose intolerance, and they have a milk hangover. And I say to them, if you got a milk hangover, make sure that you're thinking about going to class unless it's an $88 hangover. And what I want to ask for you is, what is the cost of skipping some certain activities that you've been doing? What is the cost of you shortchanging yourself? Are there some tasks that when you do them, work is better, life is better, you're better, that don't quite make the must get done pile because there's not somebody forcing you to do it, but that is having an impact that maybe you could even measure with dollars, or maybe you could, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good you feel, you're costing yourself 2 happy points by skipping over that morning walk, or meditation time, or the salad that you love once you make, but doesn't sound as good as some other food that's easier to eat. And then finally is enjoying life, because college goes fast, life goes fast, and it turns out that enjoyment makes life better. And my question for us to ponder is, are there tasks right now, are there parts of your life that you are enduring that with a little twist of your mind you could choose to enjoy? You could find joy in it. Because this is what I believe. You do not have to enjoy everything that you do in life. There are some activities that you can, with just a little bit of a mental shift, that you could choose to find joy, that right now you are simply enduring, that might benefit from a little jolt of joy. Shut up. Excuse me, gotta write that down. Jolt of joy. It's the little thing. See, I just had a jolt of joy because I heard it in my brain. My friends, our time goes fast, and we're already through our half hour. Before I go, I want you to wondering, is there a little stress ball that you need to buy or have so you can squeeze it every once in a while? Is it possible that welcoming a thought or feeling that you've been resisting, welcoming its presence, welcoming the fact that you are wanting to get rid of it sometimes, and just welcoming the fact that you're trying to influence or force it, and that you can welcome the meaning that you attach to having that thought or feeling. And my theory is that letting yourself have those 3 things, it allows them to dissipate a lot more easy instead of fighting it. And finally, and you can do this with me, if you can remember to ask questions, connect with lots of people, sample the buffet, try some new things, get out of your comfort zone, create ripples, the little things have an ongoing impact. Focus and enjoy today. I am, if you're okay with this, you can zip out real quick, but I'd love to undo the spotlight so that I can have us all wave goodbye to everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the spotlight and put us in gallery mode. And if I could have everyone wave goodbye to all the people watching in land, I am going to go ahead and turn off the recording. Oh, it took it away from me. Hold on. We got to keep waving, keep